Welcome back, where we're looking at our choice come 2019. But discussing that this morning, we have Comrade Ayodele is in the house. Adewale is in the house. It was the former local government chairman, Amu-Odofi. Good morning to you, Comrade.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We're looking at our choice. In 2015, we saw that it wasn't as tense as it's becoming to be this year. In 2014, everybody were tired, supposedly. You know, they needed a change. Nigeria said they needed a change from what was obtainable then. They needed a change, and they wanted to feel democracy. But that doesn't mean that the then administration didn't do well. But something went down, and people felt, hey, we've been in this party for 16 years. They've been paddling this. We needed a change, and that change came. This is looking ahead of 2019. What do you think Nigeria will do come 2019?
Well, first and foremost, I thank you for the opportunity for partaking in this program. Judging from the term that you use, tensed, I would say that I don't see any tension right now compared to what we faced during the last elections, where there was total breakdown of law and order. People took the law into their own hands. There were a lot of brigandage and crisis all over the place and all of that. What you have right now is, seeing people express themselves the way they understand it, particularly using more of the social media and other technological devices to express their feelings. The government have done quite well, but we would say that we've not gotten to El Dorado yet. I mean, judging from where we're coming from and looking at the available resources that we have to work, and also looking at the challenges that have confronted us, because most of these challenges could have been curbed before it got to crescendo. The government came in and met a serious crisis situation on ground, particularly with the herdsmen killing and the Boko Haram insurgency, the economic challenges, and they came with a lot of wonderful expectations. But as soon as they came in, I also know that our mainstay, which is the oil price, the oil itself, the price nosedived from about $100 per barrel down to about $36 a barrel, which also affected the programs. And the government also have to think out of the box, focusing more on taxation and other sources of revenue for the country, especially looking towards agriculture and human capital. And these have really helped to jig the system. Okay,
I know that we're going to look at some characteristics of democracy, really. For one, let's look at the periodic free and fair elections. Come 2019, do you see this happen?
The election is going to be more freer and more fair because you have a Democrat at the end of the affair. The president is really very democratic, and he do allow people to express their God-given talent regardless of whatever their systems we provide. So you're going to see a lot of changes, a lot of shifts. And in all, it's going to be better for the Nigerian people.
Now, we're still on, we're counting down towards the election of 2019, and there are a lot of expectations out there for those who will be coming, and those who are contesting for elections. Now, I want to ask you now, what kind of choice of leaders do you think Nigeria need at this point in time?
We need leaders who can think out of the box. We need leaders who will not do things in our normal, fashionable way of doing things and not getting speedy results that is expected. Nigeria is a great challenge. It's a great challenge, and it is not only the president and his cabinet that can take us there. We need every Nigerian to put their hands on the plow in order to move us there. I mean, take for instance corruption. It is not only the people in the corridor of power that are corrupt or tend to be corrupt. Every Nigerian also have a duty to think Nigeria first, regardless of what people might talk about Donald Trump. His main focus is American first. And when you talk about American first, you talk about the people, the economy, and all of that. So if we take Nigeria first, yes, we play our politics, but our politics must be constructive, even in terms of criticism. It must be constructive, and within that context, Nigeria must always come first. If you're saying you want to take power, what are the programs you have that are better than the program that this government has? How do you intend to achieve it without afflicting pain on the Nigerian people? Those are the areas that we need to actually look at. Okay,
looking at what is happening, we know that political parties, gladiators are preparing for this epic contest. It is. And so looking at it, what do you think we should, because that's the same thing, we should look at for really as the electorate? What should we do? What are the things we should look at for? Say, hey, this is what we really want, without being biased. What do you think the citizenry should be doing right now?
Well, I was privileged to be a discussant on a WhatsApp platform with some youth from Ikorodu. There were about 240 of them on that, about over 200 of them on that WhatsApp platform. And they invited me as a discussant, and this issue came up. And I told them that, look, for you to identify people that can actually lead you, there are some critical things you need to look at. How well are they managing their private affairs? Private affairs vis-a-vis somebody wakes up from bed in the morning. Does the person put rightly his bed sheet? Put it, because if you don't make your bed after you wake up, when you come back in the evening, you're going to sleep on a rough bed. Now, if this person eats on the dining table, does he leave his plate there and just go away? Or he calls someone to take it away, or he take it away himself and wash it? How tidy is this person? You understand, with his personal being and other interference? If people can't take care of their homes, are not tidy in their dealings, and of course in their practice, it will be very difficult for them to handle government affairs. So you need to look at the genealogy of these people. You need to look at their antecedents, not just what they profess. Don't look at what they say, look at what they do. How far have they done it? Research on them.
So we should be looking at them individually, not the party.
Individually, because it's the individual that will run the party. Now, if you start to look at them individually, you are also going to help the party to mirror them. You understand? When I say the party now, it is members of the party that are going to vote for them during the primary elections. Now, if these members of the party don't have adequate information about them, it becomes very worrisome. And by the time they get into power, you cannot give what you don't have. So don't expect that members of the party alone can do this. But more, platforms like this, the media, you have ways of getting information. That is your practice. You have all manner of digging for information. And you now mirror them to the members of individual parties. That, okay, you have about 10 people running for governor. Each of these governorship aspirants, you mirror them. You do research on them, and you bring it to the forebearing. You understand? For everybody in the community to see, and part of the community are also members of individual parties. And by the time they are going for their primaries or whatever, they actually know the character of each and every one of them.
And so we are counting down to the 2019 election, and looking at what is going on in the country now, from the previous administration down to this administration, what will you say is the missing link in terms of leadership?
The missing link is human capital. Like I said, you can't give what you don't have. Before Bill Gates came to talk about us focusing on education, I've been saying it everywhere. Whenever people ask me that what is the solution, I quickly tell them it's education. If you want to cure the barbarism around your premise here, it's education. If people are well schooled, they'll be well groomed. And if you're well groomed, you can't see people just littering about, you understand, claiming that they cannot produce or do anything. You can't see people just going out there becoming touts because they are educated. They know the modicum of having a sinful society. You understand? So education is the missing link. If you don't educate your people very, very well, if you don't school them very, very well, and when we talk about schooling, it's just not about literally education alone. We're talking about culture, cultural values. If you don't impact it on them when they are young, they can't give it to you while they're old. So education is the missing link, and we must go back to it.
All right.
Okay, talking about education and looking at what is happening in Nigeria right now, this administration before coming gave us an agenda, and I must say that it wasn't a make-believe figures that they voted for this administration. It was a slide, because I was part of those that went monitoring, you know, for this election. And it was a massive count for this administration. And they said, hey, this is what they're going to do. And some people had applauded them for what they promised to do. But some other persons also are saying, you promised us economy is going to be good. You promised us good security. You've made your promises, but we've not seen anything. What would you say happened here?
I would say, or join the bandwagon of people that would say they've not seen anything. I was privileged to attend the burial of Chief Alex Ekweme, who was married to my auntie. And when we landed at Owerri Airport, we actually drove down to Oka. And while driving down, we slept at, what do you call it now? The capital of Delta. Asaba. And as a student union activist, while I was in school then, as the national PRO of the NANS, I was opportune to drive on Nigerian roads to every state of this country, except Cross River State. And I know the terrain very well. And I saw how the road construction that was going around somewhere around the Onitsha axis and some other place in the east. And I quickly told my relatives that I can see development here. I mean, this was not how it used to be. You understand? I can see development. I can see people walking. Even driving from Lagos to Ibadan. Yes, they've not finished it. Yes, it's slow. But you cannot compare it to what it used to be prior to this administration coming. You can see private sector coming to establish companies here in Nigeria, especially in the east, I mean in the north, where big farms are established. You can see cooperation between Lagos State and Kebbi producing rice. Rice mills are coming and all of these things. So it is to be foolhardy for us to say nothing is happening. But again, they cannot move at that jet speed that we wish them to move. They came with a lovely plan, with the projection of our mainstay, like I said, which is oil, with the projection of $100 per barrel. As soon as they hit the ground to work, this thing goes dive to $35 per barrel. They have to think out of the box. And thank God for Mr. Fowler. If Mr. Fowler had not come in at that point, I bet you this government by now should have been hitting.
Are you saying the economy is okay?
The economy is not yet okay.
It's not comfortable.
The economy is not yet okay. But the economy is moving towards being okay. You understand? If successive administration right from 1999 have done what they needed to have done, we wouldn't be saying what we are saying today. Perhaps there won't be a change. You understand? So we need to also give time. There must be time for it to fully manifest. 4 years is not enough to clear the wrath of 16 years. It will take time.
Are you saying that people will continue this way?
No, people should continue to speak.
Because but I will allow you to talk, because if we look at it, I want us to look at economy first before we move into security. Yes. If you look at what is happening in the market, homes, companies, offices, you know that the people, when you take your camera out there, you know that the people are not happy. How long do you think this is going to last, where people cannot even feed? We're talking about feeding in the home, not even...
I'm affected.
Yes.
I'm affected. I'm deeply affected, because I also have people that I cater for. I have people that I owe great responsibility, apart from my immediate family. I have adopted kids too, about 5 of them, that I pay their fees and I send food to them. I do a lot of things. Community people also come to me to do so many things. I'm affected. I will only say that we must continue to speak, so that the consciousness of our leaders will be drawn towards our pains and advocacy. Energy is a very serious issue, and I believe that if the energy question is solved, a lot of things will plug in. I was telling one of your reporters while I was coming here, the last time I came to this studio should be around 2001.
Yes, it's been a long time you came, but I'm going to hold you there. I will allow you to continue. There's a caller. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please. I have to ask them two questions. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Just tell us the impact of this economy to the people on the street. that the past administration was doing that, are we appointing them for jobs to appoint the state?
Well, I don't know if you're getting it. Are you hearing me?
We can.
Go ahead.
Hello, are you?
Go
yes,
ahead.
we can.
Yeah, so just I want you to tell us the impact of the economy that is moving on the people on the street. The people are hungry, people are hungry, there's a lot of unemployment on the street. You're not telling me that the economy is moving. Yes, 3 years, just any impact on people on the road and voted for it.
Okay,
All right, thank
I
you
didn't
very
get that,
much.
but can you just help us?
Moreni Keji talked about the present administration as regards economy. He said people are hungry everywhere. So he is asking you, what do you think this administration has done regarding the economy? Because the electorate, the masses are not feeling the impact of the leadership in terms of the economy. People are hungry. Lives have been wasted on a daily basis. So what do you have to say about it?
I do agree that we need to tackle the issue of security with regards to your saying that lives are being wasted and all of that. Remember that I told you that for us to have a perfect system, it must be well educated. Our security operatives, this administration did not come or did not employ all of them prior to now. We must be very factual about that. These are things that they inherited, and they cannot throw away. You cannot throw away the bath of the baby because of they cannot throw away the baby because of the bath water. They also have to manage what they have on ground, otherwise we will not be going anywhere. So in terms of trying to manage it, of course, that's why you are having all of these hiccups. But it is not a justification for them not to move as fast as we had wanted and all of that. But I can tell you that it's still far, far, far better than where we're coming from. And the only thing we can do is continue to challenge the administration and continue to give them other examples that you feel can help them to do more.
Now, sir, you said this administration is far better than where we are coming from.
Yes.
Now, the last administration has been given a whip in the butt on the area of insecurity.
Yes.
Because these Boko Haram insurgents became stronger in the last administration and are still continue even up to this present administration. The lives herdsmen are killing on a daily basis are increasing. And you will still agree with me that they've done well to that regard.
Terrorism is a global problem. It's not limited to Nigeria alone. Now, if you want to stifle these people, it means that countries around us that are having problems and not being able to manage armed proliferation must also be curbed. As long as you see our crises in some countries where arms are coming in, you are not isolated. You understand? When was the last time that you hear our troops running away from the battlefield? Unlike the past administration, where troops will run into Mali, will run into Cameroon for safety. Even the mayor hearing that Boko Haram is coming, not seeing them, they run away because they're not equipped. When was the last time?
I really didn't know. I can't remember them running away, but I must say this.
No, they ran away on several occasions.
But I must say
remember
this.
Remember the issue of General Bekara and Kuti.
Okay, let me finish. I must say that the last administration had issues with insecurity. And this administration also is having issues with insecurity. Could it be that some people, somewhere, is making it, the system unbearable for anybody that mounts the position? Could that be?
Well, before I go into sabotage, or people sabotaging the effort of this government, you will see that the way and manner in which the insurgents used to attack is not as very, strong as they used to. In the time past, they would come with vehicles, come with armor tank, come with machines and all, in droves. But right now, what you just see is spot attack, bomb blast, human cannon, and all of that. That is what you see. You don't see them coming as a troop.
They did. If you look at these girls that they took, Dapchi school girls.
That is
we need to keep the records.
That is one isolated.
No, but we need to keep that
out of
that going. And you see what happened in Benue. These are lives. That's why I'm asking. Could it be that some people are somewhere causing distractions for government?
I do believe that. Like a general did say, Dan Juma, that he believes strongly And I think he will not come out speak without having facts. That he believes strongly that some people are sabotaging the effort of this government. And the government, too, very proactive, has set up a committee to look into...
I'm sorry, before you continue, we have a call. Good morning, Chinedu.
Chinedu, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
No, you need to turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you.
Now there's Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
We can hear you.
I'm nodding. That shows that we can hear you.
Okay. Before, there was no headman. Now there's headman. So there's no security. Same thing. No need to go out to preach to anybody that is a security. This one is better now than before. It's the same thing. So there was no headman. Now headman is decreasing up every more than people around.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Or maybe it was comparing the Boko Haram with the headsmen. Headers, you know, and looking at it. I don't know what, I don't know. But maybe you need to call us back and explain more on that. But you were just saying something concerning the security of this country.
I believe the government should use more of technology in combating this headsman issue. And we can't run away from ranching. You just must do it. And what government should now do is to support the livestock farmers to create ranches. Yes, they can't afford to buy land and put infrastructure. Government should go ahead, create ranches for them as means of support, and of course collect taxes.
But should it be a force? Should it be by force?
It must be by force.
The way the headers are going about it.
Life of a human, every human is very, very more valuable than any livestock. So we must forcefully do it. Yes, some might claim that traditionally these people are used to that and that and that. Traditionally, man is used to walking. Now, man is flying. You understand? With airplanes and all. Man is riding vehicles. I mean, moving by rail and water.
Okay, there's another caller. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning. We can hear you.
Good morning. Please, I want to say no, because any administration that came in will like to put blame on the former administration, and that is holding us down. We are not moving forward with that. What the current administration is supposed to do is to put their heads together and find a way to move the country forward, not blaming the former administration. And when you come to look at it, you find out that the former administration is far better than this present administration. Look at how much the dollar is that time, 180 something naira. Look at the bag of rice that time, 6,500. Look at fuel, 86 naira. And you want to use it now to compare the economy that is almost sink. So I don't like when we are discussing, we will be talking, condemning the past administration. They did well on their own. And we're expecting this administration to do better than them, not to be condemning them. And if you keep condemning them, everyone will say past administration, you will see that you will end up doing nothing. At the end, another administration that will come in will stand on that, condemning your own administration also. So it's better you put your heads together and find a way to make the life of Nigeria better than to complaining.
I think you need to wrap it up.
That's what I want to say now.
Okay,
thank you very much for your input there.
I guess no, I'm not.
He said quite a lot, and he made comparison of the last administration to this administration. The prices of things have skyrocketed, as also the price of rice going high as now compared to last time.
What it used to be.
Nigeria now, they are the one feeling the press of this present administration.
Is it they or we?
Okay, we are all feeling the pulse.
Because he said too that it's not.
Us.
Yes, everybody's feeling it.
We are all feeling the pulse of this current administration, and then with what they have promised us and what is on ground, will you say this administration has really lived up to its promise?
Would you prefer to go back to the last administration where monies are not accountable for? Where somebody takes 2 billion naira and say they want to use it to consult deities? Where somebody spent $2 billion that can provide a lot of infrastructure for you. This administration is accounting for every fund that they are expending. This administration has expended more funds on capital infrastructure, especially roads, road network, and what have you, compared to the last administration, the last 16 years, and all of that. We're talking in terms not just budgetary allocation, in terms of physical cash that have been approved for development. This administration is doing more, even when our revenue has gone down compared to what it used to be. So it is not just to join the bandwagon to say that this administration hasn't done much.
Okay, this came in from South Africa. Kingsley from South Africa said, Buhari, a Democrat, yet does not obey court orders.
Like which one?
Remember that we had issues.
I think, and I want to believe that your station do have a judicial desk. When you say somebody does not obey court orders, I want
to explain to you when he says it doesn't obey court orders. Look at Dansuki's case when he was supposed to be released. Based on what the court says, he wasn't released. Those are part of the things I guess Kingsley is talking from.
No, let me tell you, if somebody has about 10 cases,
yes,
and in one of those cases, you are discharged or told to be released, what about the other cases that are still holding you on? That is why I said I believe this situation has a judicial desk.
Then let me give you more.
You need, wait, please. I would appeal that you consult the Ministry of Justice. Get the highlights. Get the highlights.
Because these calls in are coming and some of them were writing it down for you. Looking at that also, when the Senate, aside court orders, he said appointments are lopsided.
No.
Virtually he is running a Fulani government which is not allowed. This is Kingsley also from South Africa. Maybe I should just list everything so we take it so that we can move ahead. He also said claiming government that left didn't do anything, but he curtailed it, but he's not curtailing it or whatever. I didn't get that claim. Theophilus Danjuma's statement that military is convincing. Okay, I can't say this, so maybe you need to help me read it. So
okay,
just take that.
Theophilus Danjuma's statement that military is continuing.
You didn't get that as well.
Convincing. I guess that's the word. Sorry, conniving. Okay. I guess that's the word, conniving.
So maybe just take it at once and just explain all of those things.
I did speak about the Danjuma episode, and I also said that the government was very proactive to quickly set up a committee to look into that allegation, because an allegation coming from that kind of person shouldn't be dusted away. You can't just dust it away. He'll be talking from the point of fact. So you need to go and look at it very well.
Yes.
And if it is
we need to look at it.
You need to look at it very well. Look at it very well. If it is proven that you have fifth columnists, then you have to boot them out. That is to that. And on the there was an issue you asked.
Check the question.
Okay, the second one, claiming that the government didn't do anything that it had curtailed.
That like what?
The issue of insecurity in the country.
Like I told you.
Okay, maybe what you said while your explanation.
I've told you earlier that an issue of insecurity is a global thing. A global thing, I'm not talking just about the globalness of the earth itself. I'm talking about in terms of everybody's involvement. And we have allowed this issue to have festered for too long before this administration came on board. It's just like cancer. If it's coming out from a particular spot and you can detect it early, you attack it. Not until they have affected the whole body. Now, for you to not get the person back to fullness, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot.
Okay, maybe because the administration has said that they are going to, when they come in, it's going to be a thing of the past.
Yes,
maybe that's why people are.
And it's even getting worse. It's getting worse by the day.
They have been degraded beyond their capacity that they used to have. The major thing that we have that is confronting us more headlong is the issue of headmen.
Yes.
The headmen. And like I said, I'm an advocate for ranching. I'm an advocate for ranching, and government, I won't say because I'm part of the government must provide these ranches.
Necessary, yeah.
They must provide these ranches, they must provide the infrastructure. You suck the headsmen in and collect taxes from them.
And should it be not in all states? Is it a must? It has to be in all states.
It has to be in all states because every state consume dairy products. Not every state have the capacity to produce dairy products. Take for instance Lagos State, we don't rear livestock. Yes. So we depend on them. You understand? When I say them, we depend on our brothers from the northern hemisphere. Now, if in terms of you talked about what you appointment now.
Appointments, yes.
Now look, Nigeria,
is it not lopsided?
It's not lopsided. Okay. Nigeria has 37 states. Yes. We have
36 states, including the FCT.
That's 37. Yes. You can consider the FCT as a state. You have 37. Yes. Now, what you have is that each and every one of these enclaves must produce someone. The Southwest has 6 states. There's no how the Southwest, we want to divide it geographically. The North Central, the Northeast, East, Northwest, South, Southwest, then the East.
Yes.
There's no how you can have more than the northern geographical region. It's not possible. It's not possible. So I laugh. I often laugh when people say that these things are not evenly spread. If you consider the amount of states that you have in the north and put the amount of states that you have in the west together, it is not comparable.
But majority of the heads of parastatals,
yes, we're talking about top
positions are teetered to one particular.
Because they are more.
Are you saying that they are the only one producing the best
to
lead such organizations?
As far as you know, I used to think that way before Nance gave me the opportunity to move around. So I used to think that people from the north don't go to school.
No, we're not saying
Hold on. With regards to what you are saying, that are they the only knowledgeable ones? You have far greater knowledgeable people in the north because you have not encountered them. The only ones you see, the ones you easily see, are the beggars on the street in the west.
No,
that is not a picture of the north.
And we have quota system and all of that. I know that other parts of the country too are brilliant people.
Yes.
Not just the northern part. But what he's trying to say, what this person I guess is trying to say is, why is it tilted to a particular region? But we get this caller. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. So I want to make a contribution. The Mambia should stop joining the old regime. You understand? Because when you look at this new regime, I have not seen what they have done. And saying that ranking is a must is not a must. Because the businessmen outside there, you don't give them shop by just for free. They are doing their business. They should talk to the owners of the land, occupy the land and do whatever they want to do and do their business. The thing is a personal business, it's not government business. So let us not say it's a must. And the agencies should stop.
Okay. Let him answer that.
You see, people always mistake things and they tend to look at issues based on sentiments. For instance, the federal government and state government are trying to rejig our agricultural system. A lot of people don't own lands. I know that in each state, example is Lagos State, they have a lot of farmlands. What they tell a would-be farmer or a businessman to do is approach the Ministry of Agriculture. We have farm and we lease the land to you.
Yes.
They do that. So what is wrong if a state establish a ranch, a good ranch, and suck them in and collect funds from them? You are making more money.
Can they do it over in the northern parts? Can they do it there? Must it be here?
Like I said, wait.
Because now these guys are carrying guns. That's where the problem is.
That is why I said when ranching comes in, nobody needs to carry a gun. The reason why some people might want to defend themselves first are the cattle rustlers, not the farmers. I don't support them carrying AK-47, but I support them defending themselves against cattle rustlers.
Yes.
Now, if you now bring this what do you call them now? These animals closer to where it's going to be sucked out. One, you are going to cut off transportation costs. You are going to improve on services and delivery and all of that. You understand? And you must not be quick to forget that our constitution allows people to move from one end
so
to the other.
who's going to take the monies? Because these guys are
going to get money back.
These guys are
investing.
making business out of people, and I'm giving you land,
also,
and I'm taking care of you. And
okay, let me give
are we helping ourselves, or we are helping other people?
Let me give you an example.
Let's get this caller. Hello, good morning to you. Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Good morning.
I don't know what's happening with the lines today, really.
Most of the time, you have to do your best not to bring people who are biased, who are sentimental, who do not want to tell Nigerians the truth. It is helpful we have this kind of politicians in this country, and that's why we are not going forward. We see things on the ground in Nigeria, and people are coming out to tell us that the government is doing this and doing that. I am a man that travels around this country. I see things on the ground. I'm not being sentimental. I am talking about what I see on the ground. Whatever construction that has been done is what has been done by the previous administration, not this one. I said by the previous administration, not this one. I am a traveler. I travel virtually every week. I'm not talking about what I don't do. So this man coming out to tell us that this government is doing this government is doing this, you not start on the ground. We are talking about practical. Now, some other callers have come out to tell you that there's no money. People are hungry. Things are difficult here and there. Now, this government came out and gave us the promise that they are going to fix this, the power sector in 6 months' time. And this is 3 years now. And nothing. And we're still having darkness.
Okay, you need to wrap it up because we don't have much time on our side.
Please, thank you. I will end it. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. You heard what the caller has said, but the question I want to ask right now is, we said we didn't want the other administration, we got this one now, and Nigerians are still saying, hey, I'm not satisfied. Can we ever be satisfied?
Human wants can never be satisfied as long as you're in this mundane. But again, you can create the basic things that can lead to self-satisfaction. And that is why I said the government, you must continue to challenge the systems with ideas, not just criticism. If I'm going to criticize you, I'll criticize you from the point of ideas. That look, okay, your camera is here, and I've feel that if you put your camera here and use some high-resolution cameras and all of that, you can achieve and get a better service and production and all of that. So if you are coming to say the government is not working, okay, what will work? What will work? Like I did say about ranching, that yes. I don't see any reason why any government should not invest in it on behalf of its people. If you can provide roads, provide that. If you can provide land for people to come and do agricultural business, provide it. Take Ladipo, for example, Ladipo Market. Yes. The business people don't own the land. The local government saw a need for it. They could have converted that market into a perishable market. But they saw a need for it and that they can get greater revenue from that, and they allowed that market to stay. Yeah. Despite the fact that people are mismanaging.
They are paying
That's
rent.
what I'm saying. We can get more revenue from ranching.
Maybe you're not more explicit
That's
now.
What I'm saying. We can get more revenue from it.
They are paying. It's not
from
free.
One cow. You know what? You know how many things you can get from one cow? You get manure, you get the blood, the bones can produce buttons, and so many things. You get calcium, apart from the meat. You can even get medicinal value. So you should get
ranches and they pay.
They have to pay. It's not for free.
Okay, maybe that's what we needed to get it clear.
It's not for free. Yeah. You should think out of the box.
No, because you just said get ranches. Government should provide ranches.
I said government should provide. It should never be for free.
Okay.
Nothing is free. Even when you provide free education, it's not free. Somebody is paying taxes somewhere, and you bring it back to fund free education. Because by the time you fund education to be free, you are building your human capital. And by the time they go out of that circle, like the butterfly circle, they start to walk and they pay back taxes. And it goes back to that circle again, like the imagot. So nothing is free.
Okay, looking ahead of 2019, that's what we're really looking at. The former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, came up with something new again. We're seeing drama, where he says that there must be a coalition group. And that coalition group started. But before we continue, there's another caller. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please, can you be louder a bit, be more audible?
Good morning.
Okay, good morning.
My name is Ayimari from Bagada, Lagos. The man in question is saying that...
we barely can hear you. Yes, I don't know if you can hear him.
I can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Can you speak a bit louder?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Go ahead. Maybe we might just try. Go
Can you
ahead.
hear me? The man in question is saying that appointments are not lopsided. I want to explain to us what happened during the recent promotion exercise to the paramilitary. When the northern Muslims, outer Muslims, they are still above their northern Christian counterparts. Because from my indication, it shows that the northerners, Muslims were well favored because you try most of these types of paramilitary are northern Muslims. It really affected the whole exercise. And the officer had to embark on them protest. So it's so shameful that this kind of stuff.
I think you need to call us back. Let's go on this quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. While we went on that break, someone also called in saying that you said that they are more brilliant than the southern northern people are more brilliant. And when we look at it, remember I told you about the quota system. If they believe that they can put them in positions like that, why do we then do quota system? Why do we have quota system?
Well, maybe they didn't listen to me well.
Okay. So
I was talking from the question that was put to me, that are they the most brilliant people? And I said, look, and I'll take analogy from Majek Fashek. Remember when Majek sang a song about New York? We normally see New York as that heavenly place, and he showed us some suburbs of New York. And everybody said, oh, so you have this kind of thing there. Now, in retrospect, the picture of the North that we see in the South are the beggars. And literally, people feel that people in the North are mostly disadvantaged people who are not even read. But when you go to the North, you also see that they have a lot of brilliant people. That is not to say that they are the most brilliant. I don't have data to say who is the most or not. But all I'm saying is that don't let us look at the northern people as people who are disadvantaged. They are not.
So why should we now do, when we look at it, what position taken? Why do we now say this is quota system where we know that they are also brilliant? Why not make it equal?
In terms of demography, we have said that quota system do matter. We have said that every region must participate in nation building.
Yes.
We have not said on the basis of who comes first in terms of brilliancy. If it's on the basis of who comes first, I can assure you that some space of the Nigerian state might not have anything.
Okay.
If I'm going to judge it, who comes first, second, third. On the basis of A's, how many A's do you have? But on the basis of quota system, the northern region have more geographical placing than the south. This was created by the British. It was created by the British. There are some people in the north that naturally should not be in the north. So if you look at Kogi State, for instance, there are some part of Kogi that should have been carved to the south, away from the north. There are some part of the south that should be carved to the southeast. So these are equations that have been created.
When you want to do examination and they say, hey, this person can score 100 and enter from the north, while the person from the south, they'll give you 270.
Some people created it that way.
But when you finish school and you want an appointment, that's when they begin to say, hey, it's going to be equal. I don't think that. But before we went on that break, we were talking about coalition. The former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, came up with coalition, and we saw how it started. Ahead of 2019, this coalition you're seeing, do you think it might unseat this government?
Fela said, teacher, don't teach me nonsense. I will look at the teacher that want to teach me. If you are quite better than me, if you are not, I won't waste my time. The person that is saying this today had opportunity when he was President Commander-in-Chief as a military head of state to have given us a free and fair election. He refused Obafemi Awolowo to emerge. The 2/3 majority came on board. If Awolowo had been president, I can assure you we will not be where we are today. Under Awolowo leadership in the Western region, we had television before France, before Germany. We built our university with agricultural produce, revenue. We had smart people that came on board. You understand? He debarred us from that. He came on board in 1999 and he ruled for 8 years. The road to Otta was not even done. Third time they were clamoring for it. They subverted the rule of law. The same man is coming to tell you to form a coalition. You don't need to run away from history. Okay. You should know that whatever coalition they want to form is an elongation of their hegemony to plunder this country into an abyss of waste.
Are you saying that the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, because he said this administration,
he has no morality? He has no morality.
Are you saying he's wrong about it? But let's get this caller. I will come back to that. Hello, good morning to you. Okay. Good morning. This is going to be the last caller for this segment. Good morning to you.
Please, the interesting question said that there's nothing like nepotism or favoritism in this country along ethnic and religious lines. We observed that during the last promotion side of paramilitary, that the northern Muslims were highly favored of their Southern and northern Christian counterparts.
We're so sorry that today the lines are not very good. We can't hear you in the studios. We're so sorry today. I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry. Maybe that was the last call. We're not going to take any call again.
They can send text messages. They can tweet, send tweets and all of that.
Just like the South African man is doing. You can do that. Send an SMS so we can get to give it to him. Please do send an SMS. The phones are not just going through. Yes, we're talking about the coalition and looking at what the former president said. He said this administration has failed us. Do you think he's right?
I think he's very wrong. And he should apologize to the nation for saying that. Those are 8 speeches. It's very, very wrong. I remember that I was part of those people that stopped his third term agenda and campaigned against third term. And I also remember that I was part of those people who tried to rewrite the Nigerian constitution when Chief Anthony Naro of blessed memory chaired the PRONACO. Professor Wale Soyinka was there, was vice, Dr. Becker was deputy. I was mobilization officer for PRONACO. And we did organize a sovereign people's conference. And we came on board with a constitution that we wanted to go through a referendum. This same man killed it, killed that process and all of that. If that constitution had come on board, if he had supported that vision, that program, I bet you that a lot of this harakiri that we're facing now, we will not be facing it. So it's not somebody to be listened to. He had the opportunity to fix this country on 2 occasions. He mismanaged common trust. He mismanaged the opportunity. He cannot railroad us again.
So would you be surprised if this coalition takes over?
The coalition can never take over.
Supporting this coalition and other parties coming in, because other people are also coming in.
Look, you can go to sleep with what I've told you. His coalition can never take over, because the people of this country are far brilliant than that. What we want is for this country to be back on its full track as giant of Africa, to provide opportunity for not only Nigerians but for Africans at large. So someone like him can never show us the road, because he had been in front of the road before and he misled us.
You're a young man, I must say, because I also met you when you were the local government chairman for
Amu of a local government.
And then people talked a lot about what you have done. Looking at what is happening, do you think the youth can take over this country right now as it is? I
won't use the word taking over. Taking over. It's a fascist. Right? It's a fascist statement. Okay. I will use the word take charge.
Take charge. Okay.
Take charge of responsibility. I will use the word take charge. Look, the youth. Look, power is not given a la carte. I'll give you my own history. When I was 26 years old, I ventured into partisan politics. Partisan. I was part of those people that chased away the military. We were foot soldiers. I was president of Lagos State University Student Union. We were the one on the street facing the soldiers and all of that. Now, when democracy was to come, we were also on the street showing people who to vote for. Don't vote for adventurists. Don't vote for accident of history. Vote for people who fought on your side and who knows where the shoe pinches. And thank God for Lagos State. If the left, the activists, the civil society people had resolved harmoniously to come into politics, we will not be where we are now. Some people say we shouldn't, that it's going to be another June 12th, that rather we should have a constitution first. Remember, it was a military decree that was transmuted into a constitution. So our advocacy then was that a constitution must come prior, before the electoral process. That was the Ganifa Emi's thinking. But people like Pa Bramade Soya, Baba Okpadokun, Dr. Tunji Otegbeye, Braithwaite, and the rest, Aswaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, no, let us partake in it. We cannot fight a system from out of that system. Otherwise, if they have not done that, Lagos would have been a mess today. But thank God for that visionary action that was taken, and Lagos has become the barometer for measuring the progress of the country. The youth must take charge. You understand? They must take responsibilities.
You talked about Lagos. Can you say that about the federal government?
Of course,
Can you say that?
Like I said,
Lagos is this, and I applaud them for that.
Lagos gave
Can
me.
you say that about the federal government right now?
Lagos gave me an opportunity to show my brilliance. If I hadn't gotten the opportunity in Lagos, the floodgates would not be open for the youth today. I was the youngest in 2008 as chairman of local government. And it was not just given like that. It took me 5 years on the street with my moccasin and my backpack, advocating, distributing handbills, talking to people. And 5 years after, I won my primaries, I won my elections. So I am an advocate that the youth must come on board. And the youth don't think that they will come and wake you from the bed and say, take power.
So are you not looking at
must show it.
I thought you were going to be looking at 2019. I want to be the president of this country. You can't make it.
It's systemic. It's systemic. In 2019, I would not want to take a shot yet. It's systemic. It's systemic, like I said. It's a building block. It's systemic. But I can assure you, after 2019, I can think of shooting forward. But in 2019, I will go into the Federal House to make concrete laws and challenge the system and help open the floodgate.
Are you saying 2019 there are already hiccups? Are you seeing hiccups that will make you strive into taking position?
There are no hiccups.
I thought you wanted to ask a question.
No, I want us to look at this still on the youth now coming into place in 2019. There's this bill, Not Too Young to Rule, and a lot of youth are now showing interest in politics like never before. Don't you think this should be the right time for them to take the shot and be in charge, like you said?
Not too young to run. In 2006, at the Ponaco plenary, I proceeded and put forward my paper using the platform Center for the Defense of Democracy that was made more of youth. And we challenged the Nigerian Constitution that 18 years should be the political benchmark to venture into any office in Nigeria, from local government to the presidency. And it took pain before members of delegates could accept that position, and it was adopted. You understand? I don't believe that we must wait till 25 or 27. We've had lawyers at 20 called to bar. Yes. Titi Akosa is an example. So if you can interpret the law, why can't you make the law? If you go to blue chip companies, go to banks, you will see young people, 21, 22, running affairs of billions of dollars, millions of naira, and they're doing well in the private sector. Why do you want to prevent them from coming to governance? Pre-independence. We have younger people in the Nigerian lower house, like Abamade Soya at 21. He was a member of the parliament at 21 years old. You understand? We've had Prime Minister of UK in history at 24. So why must I wait to 25 or 27? And if you are saying that democracy is about the people, for the people, and by the people must define and vote who they want. You understand? It must not be a class thing. If you say that 18 is the gateway to get involved, then that 18 should be allowed to contest into any office. Is it the people that will determine who will get there or not?
Well, are those really leaders, the men that are taking charge now, would they be willing to step down for
nobody will want to surrender power. No, you must contest for power. Even for you to get your liberty from your home, from your parents, you must have shown them that, look, I am mature. I can take charge of my affairs. Otherwise, they won't allow you to go and rent an apartment.
Okay, we have to wrap up this edition right now. But before we leave, still Kingsley from South Africa said, do you have more people in the desert than on land?
Well, I will go again.
Because maybe that statement you made.
No, it's good. It's good. I will go again to what Bill Gates said, that he has spent over $1 billion fighting polio in Nigeria, and he's not getting results. And he used satellite imagery to challenge the Nigerian population, and he saw that our population is not as much as what we claim. I have always challenged the Nigerian population that whatever figure you see there is for political reasons. It's just for political reasons. So if we are going, I don't trust the population figure. If I'm a scientist, I read chemistry. If you are going to do a sensor that can be relied on, it must be biometrically driven, so that we can know who is who. Even if they are covering their face with veil, they will thumbprint, and we know what that we have. So it's possible. So
the question now is, do we have more people in the desert than land?
It is quite possible. It is possible if wait, I'm a scientist.
Okay.
Dubai is a desert land. But the Arab people have made it very, very opportunistic and habitable.
In Nigeria, one word, we're living
listen.
Time is not on
it is
side.
possible if they have made their place. It might not be as opportunistic as Dubai, but I cannot say what I don't have fact on. So
there are more, obviously more.
I can't say what I don't have facts on.
But we might need to wrap up now this edition. Finally, looking at 2019, what do you advise the electorate, this government? Because I wanted you to rate this government, their performance, but time is not on our side. What do you advise the electorate, this government in general? What should we be looking out for right now?
I will rate this government in comparison to the past administration. I will say they've done better.
Security.
In terms of security, they've done better. They've done better.
Killings are still on.
Yes, the killings are still on, but our security operative are now combating it without running away. So they've done better. In terms of healthcare, we need to do more. We need to do more. We need to do more. That's what I would say.
What about economy?
The economy is quite better. Because it's quite better in terms of accountability.
We are talking about in terms
of feeding. Government must provide infrastructures to help farmers. More infrastructure. They must provide 1-digit loan. 1-digit loan.
So
I'm advising the government to provide 1-digit loan to assist the farmers and assist the service delivery people in order to get these goods to the end point. It's not as if we don't have produce, but getting it to where it is needed, it's a problem.
Finally,
INEC should do more. They should do better than Professor Jega. Jega set a standard. They should take it higher and do better.
What's your take on this over underage voters?
Underage voting, I cannot say much because I don't have facts. I will not just listen to what people put on social media and put everywhere. I don't have facts.
Okay, we need to wrap up this edition. We don't have time. The sports segment. I want to thank Comrade Ayodele Adewale, the former chairman, Amor Dolphin local government area. Thank you so much for